Hi everyone. Today I'm gonna show how we are gonna install TensorFlow 2 in a virtual environment. I'm also gonna show how to create PDF of your IPython notebook and how to upload them to Gradescope and how to assign each problem to a specific page in the PDF. So let's first start. For those who have a Mac, I'm gonna show how to create a virtual environment. So I'm gonna say conda create dash name. I'm gonna call it like TF2 as TensorFlow 2. You could call it any other name. I also want to tell it to have Python 3.7. So it's gonna take a while. You should note that this is assuming you already have installed Anaconda and Conda is installed. As you see, I am using Conda as a comment here. So basically what this command does is creating a virtual environment for us that already comes with Python 3.7 as we want it, and it's calling it a TensorFlow 2, like TF2, virtual environment. At the end of this comment, it has told us that we have to activate this virtual environment. So I'm going to activate it as it's told. Conda activate TF2. So after I activate it, as you see, it says parentheses TF2 parentheses close. So now we are inside the virtual environment. So I want to install TensorFlow. So I say pip install TensorFlow. It's gonna install the latest stable version of the TensorFlow. So it's gonna take a while as well. So we're gonna do the same exact process in Windows. For those who have Windows, if you have other operating systems such as like Red Hat or Ubuntu or Arch Linux, it's gonna be the same. So, but we're gonna show it for CentOS and also Windows 10 for today tutorial. So I also need to install Jupyter Notebook. So conda install Jupyter Notebook. Even if you have it installed, if you don't do this, you're gonna get error. Somehow TensorFlow would not recognize, would not be recognizing Jupyter notebooks that are already installed. So in order to make it forced to be known by the Jupyter notebook, you need to install it again. Sometimes you might see that within the interactive Python environment, the TensorFlow is recognized, but not in Jupyter notebook. This could be one of the reasons. So we suggest you to install it again. So now that it's installed, I'm already in the folder that has the question, the pset1.ipynb. So ipynb is like a extension that refers to IPython notebook. So I'm gonna open this with Jupyter notebook. So in order to do that, I'm gonna enter Jupyter notebook pset1.ipynb. So if you do press tab, it's gonna do tab completion. You don't need to enter the whole thing. So if I enter this, it's gonna open a browser for me with the Jupyter notebook. So it will take a while actually. So now our Jupyter notebook is open in the browser via the localhost. Okay. So let's run this. So previously this was run with 2.1, TensorFlow 2.1, but any version of the TensorFlow that is above 2 should be fine for us. So let's run this. So I'm gonna press Control and Return to run this cell. It will take a while. So we got an error. We didn't get an error for TensorFlow, but we got an error that matplotlib is not installed. One cool thing about Jupyter Notebook is that you can also run the command prompt inside them. So I'm going to create a cell above the current cell. So insert cell above. And I'm going to use a exclamation point and write pip install matplotlib. So using this sign, you're telling the Jupyter notebook that we're gonna run a special command. So here it's gonna be a command line command. So if I run this, it's gonna install this package using pip. So I'm running it with command return in Mac. So now if I rerun this cell, you're gonna have no error and you're also gonna see what's the TensorFlow version. So as you see, our version is 2.31, which is the latest stable version. For the rest of the cell, you're gonna just do basically press command return, go forward, and there was a question in Piazza, where should we, write the stuff? Basically, you see like this cell, there's a exception here that is thrown, when there's no code. So basically, as Sarah mentioned, whenever there's a not implemented error, it means your code gonna be there, okay? So you do not create a cell under these things, but you're gonna put your code over here, okay? So let's move to Windows. I do not have Windows on my machine. This is a MacBook, but I'm accessing a Windows at my lab through TeamViewer. You do not need to do these things, but since I do not have a Windows here and I want to access the Windows through the same machine, I'm going to use TeamViewer. I already am in the TeamViewer. I have connected it. So I'm going to do the same thing. So from the Start menu, as you see, I already have run it, so it's in the memory, but I'm gonna write Anaconda, and I'm looking for Anaconda prompt. It's also known as Anaconda CLI. So CLI refers to command line interface. So what I'm gonna do is like basically the same exact steps. I'm gonna create a virtual environment, call it TF2, representing TensorFlow 2, and then I'm also gonna package Python 3.7 for that. So let's say conda create dash dash name TF2, and for that we're gonna call it add Python equal 3.7. So I want to say like I want this to be packaged along with Python 3.7. So just about it, this comment conda is already installed when you install the conda, like CLI. But then here this comment has some argument. It says like, okay, what action I want to do with conda? I want to create an environment, and I also want to call it TF2. So I'm using this flag, dash dash name is a flag, and I'm also telling it that I want Python 3.7 to be installed along with this environment. It's gonna take a while, and it's asking me, hey, you're gonna install all these packages within this environment. Is that okay? I say yes. So continue. So now we have to again activate our TensorFlow or activate our virtual environment called TF2 using conda activate TF2. And then from here, I'm gonna install TensorFlow using pip install TensorFlow. As you notice, now it's taking the wheel. WHL is a wheel file for Windows. Previously, it was taking a wheel from Mac OS X. Just be patient, it would take a while. So installation of TensorFlow is done. So now we need to install. Jupyter notebook. So I'm going to install using conda command. So conda install Jupyter notebook. So whenever it asks you proceed Y and, please press Y. So to confirm that all these packages that are going to be installed is okay in your terms. So if you saw something like this, please click yes. So Jupyter Notebook is installed. So now I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to open Jupyter Notebook. But before that, we have to first figure where the notebook is, okay? So in our case, in my case, the notebook is in the download folder. In order to find the path, I'm just going to click here in the, address, wait. Uh, downloads. Somehow it's not copying the path for me right now. Anyway, so I can access it this way as well. So you have to do change directory, cd downloads. So now in the downloads, and cd is command means change directory. So from here, the notebook is actually here already. So it's called pset1.ipynb. So I'm gonna write Jupyter notebook pset1, and I just press tab and it's doing tab completion in the Anaconda CLI. So if you press enter or return, you're gonna go to the browser, and so you can see your, actually ignore this. So if you want to delete a cell, you can actually press DD twice on your keyboard. I'm pressing, but you have to click on this, blue thing, or it was green and now it's blue. So if you click here and then press DD twice, press D twice, so DD, now it's that cell. I'm gonna run this. My notebook is a little slow because I'm accessing it through TeamViewer, but I'm gonna press command return. So I'm getting an error that matplotlib is not installed. So similar to the other version that we did in Mac, I'm gonna insert a cell above. So, and then I'm gonna use exclamation point, and then I write pip install matplotlib, and then command enter. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna press shift enter. Both should work, but will take a while to install the package. So the package is installed, and now I can run the other cell. So as you see, TensorFlow 2.3.1 is installed. So just another note. So these cells, that are not called. They're called like markdown cell. You can use to write, you know, mathematical formulation, any LaTeX formulation or text. If you know, like if you have some mathematical background, you might know about text, or if you have been writing some algebra homework, such and such. So you can actually write, you know, like, you know, you can fill this out, but we don't expect you, I mean, we don't want you to do that. So for now, please only write your code in the cells that is expected from you, okay? So for example, let's actually go up. So wherever it says not implemented error, that's where you should have your code written, okay? So we don't want you to enter a cell here. So from here, I want to go back to the Mac actually. So from my command prompt, one thing that I actually didn't tell you was how to access the command prompt. So I click on the magnifier and then I say terminal. So that's basically what I am using right now. It's called terminal in the Mac. So in Windows, it's called command prompt. In you know, in Linux or Unix, it's called terminal. Anyway, some people also say like this whole thing is like command line, you know, like you're using it as a command line. So I'm gonna stop this notebook because I don't have any other changes in it. I'm gonna use Control C in Mac, and then I say yes, I wanna save it. So, okay. So after this, I'm gonna show you a couple of commands that basically there's two commands that you follow along and then you get a PDF of your homework, because we expect you to upload a PDF of your homework to Gradescope. So I have saved the comments here for myself. So I'm just gonna close this page. So I'm gonna also write these things when I'm uploading the video for you. So this is from the other course I'm a grader for. So I'm just gonna copy this and then modify it. So the name of the homework that we are gonna create a PDF for is like pz1.ipynb. What this command says is that basically convert this IPython notebook to LaTeX. So this is a two-pass command. Initially, we convert the IPython notebook to LaTeX, and then from there, we convert the LaTeX to PDF. So let's first run this pass. So if you do ls, or basically ls-ltrah comment, the last thing that you see that is created is your text file. So I'm gonna basically convert these to PDF, and I'm gonna use PDF LaTeX pset1.text. So if I do ls-ltrah, I'm gonna see the PDF is created here. But please always go and check the PDF that is created. So I'm gonna go to download, and then hopefully I can find the folder. Okay. Or I can actually do display or open, actually open comment, sorry. Open pset1.pdf. So it's gonna open the PDF file. So please make sure whatever that you have converted to PDF is exactly what you have there in the Jupyter notebook. It's fine if the sectioning is not the same, because it actually happens automatically by Jupyter notebook conversion, but what we try to say is the same, is like make sure that your code is the same, you know, like whatever that we're gonna grade you is the same as you see in the PDF, okay? Subtle error is fine, but the code, whatever that is supposed to be graded by us, should be the same, okay? For example, things like this, the version of TensorFlow is not the same as ours. It's totally okay, as long as it's a 2+ version, okay? So another thing, so some of you might not have the PDF LaTeX command working. You might enter this and then it might says it's not installed, whatnot, okay? For that, you have to go to text live. So first search text live download. I forgot the E. So if you go there, you can actually go ahead and install this on your operating system. So we're gonna give you some command about that, where to install yours, but you can go ahead and actually download and install text live. So PDF LaTeX install. If you click on that, you go, the first thing, if you enter PDF LaTeX install, the first link is actually where you're gonna install based on your operating system, okay? So it has various operating systems. So if you're on Windows, you click on Text Live. If you're on Mac OS, you click on Mac Text, okay? All these are eventually gonna enable you to access PDF LaTeX command, okay? So if you haven't already have it in the set system, it might gonna give you error. Or if you have a version which is very outdated, you're still gonna get error, okay? We want a PDF LaTeX that is version 2020. Anyway, so I'm gonna do the same exact things that I did in OS 6 in Windows. So I'm gonna go to my team viewer, close the notebook, then go to the Anaconda, do a Command C. Sorry. Right. Since my keyboard mapping is not working properly, unfortunately, because I'm using TeamViewer, I'm just gonna close it all together, which is fine. I'm gonna show you how to activate it again. It's a good practice for you. So I'm gonna write, actually I'm gonna go first to download folder, and CD represents change directory. Okay, I'm changing my directory from wherever I am to download folder, okay? So I'm gonna use the command that I have here. I'm gonna just copy paste them. But before that, actually it's not necessary, but anyway, it's not necessary. So, but I wanted to show you how to activate your environment once again. Conda activate TF2. So the name of the environment was TF2. So I'm just gonna activate it. As you see, now TF2 shows in the parentheses here, okay? So I'm gonna write, I'm gonna copy this comment. Somehow my copy doesn't as well work, unfortunately. Sorry about that. I'm in the team viewer, it has a lot of limitation. So I'm just gonna type it, Jupyter nbconvert pset1.ipynb, and then --2 latex. So it already has created me the text file. So I'm gonna also use pdf latex pset1.text. Please note that I already have installed the text live for Windows. It takes a while. You have to be very patient. So you would need to do that before using the pdf latex command. So if I go to my download folder, I already see that the PDF is installed here for me. Sorry, the PDF is created for me. So that's where I actually was running the pdf latex command that created the PDF. So here it is open with the browser. So that's the PDF. All right, so I'm gonna show how you're gonna upload your PDF to Gradescope and how you're gonna assign each problem to a specific page in the PDF, okay? So I'm just gonna go to Gradescope. So we have changed my role to a student, so you're gonna see the same thing as you would be basically saying, like I'm a student right now. The course. So I'm gonna go to PSET1. Since I already have submitted, I have to resubmit, which is a great thing because you would get an idea how you do that. So I'm gonna do resubmit, submit PDF, select PDF. So the PDF is here, upload PDF. So this part is very important. Please pay close attention. So if you see my cursor in the upper right section, so there's a view that says basically like, you know, all the 9 pages in one view or 1 page per view. So we prefer that you go to the 1 page per view and then click on the first question. So the first convolutional layer, okay? So you basically have to select where your answer lies, okay? So you have to scroll down and select only the pages that has your answer, okay? So where your answer is, okay? So your answer basically doesn't start until in this one, okay? So I'm gonna select the page that has the answer to that question. So, and then I'm gonna select max Boolean layer, okay? Where the answer for that is, okay? I'm gonna not basically continue, but since you're writing the answer, you basically know where the question are, right? So maybe I also click, so all these things are actually there, right? So where you're writing the code for here, all of them are actually basically here. Say. So basically you select wherever your code is, okay? And then for the train and evaluate, you're gonna select the train and evaluate. So here, actually I made a mistake for dropout. So what I can do is remove that page, go to the page that dropout is, okay, which is here. Select this and then select this page that the code for dropout is. Actually, you note that there's no code here because we want you to write the code, but I'm just showing how to assign pages to the solution, okay? So yeah, so I'm just then gonna click submit, okay? And then says submit assignment. So you please do that. I'm not gonna do that. So if you have any question, please let us know. I'm just gonna go over one of the comments that I used for the people who might be interested to learn a little more. I'm gonna use clear comment here to just make a nice clear slate here. So I use the comment ls-ltrah. So I'm gonna just talk what is this comment and what does it do. So ls comment itself is listing the files. It's not gonna work in the Anaconda CLI, but it's gonna work in the terminal that you search here, terminal, okay? And also it's gonna work in Linux. Anyway, so it's gonna list all the files in a directory as well as all the directories in a directory, okay? So if you want to see the files in a time reverse format, you're gonna use T and R. R for reverse and T for time. So dash here actually shows the flag, okay? And A is gonna show the hidden files, and H here is gonna show them in a human readable format. So if I press this, I can see the last file that was created is called pset1.log. It's 37 kilobytes. So if I don't use the H, let me actually, actually I cannot, since I have it in my alias in the bash profile, so I have to cancel that. So let me just comment this. So I want to show you what is the effect of the H. So I'm also using the up arrow to access the previous comments. So if I have the H, it's gonna show them in the human readable sizes like K, meg, or byte, okay? But if I don't have the H here, sorry, I think I have another bash profile that is overwriting this. Anyway, we can skip this, but I wanted to say that if you don't have the H over there, it's not gonna show them in human readable, and it's just like gonna write the actual size, which is not very human readable. And the A here is showing the hidden files. As you see, like we have one hidden file here, and like it's actually a hidden directory. And you know, the dot represents the current directory, the dot represents the previous directory. For example, if I do cd dot dot, I go back to the previous directory. And if I want to go back to the current directory that I had, like Sarah, I have to cd Sarah. And cd dot means the current directory, doesn't do anything. It just gives me the current directory. pwd comments means I want to see what is the path for the current directory. Paths of the working directory, okay? And ls. So if you just press cd with no argument, it's gonna change directory with no argument. It's gonna push you to the home directory. And if you do a pwd here, you can see that, okay, your home directory is like /users/mona, okay? And if I want to go to a directory that I already have a path for it, I can pick the path, copy it, or use Control-C, and then Control-V, or right-click paste, and I go to that path. And just do an ls here. Maybe I want to remove one of my files. I am not interested. Maybe I want to remove this file. I copy the name, and then I do rm, and then I remove it. Please make sure that you are removing something that you know you want to remove, okay? And that's about it. Please make sure that you do not change your Jupyter notebook after you submit it, since if someone has a problem in PDF that they have submitted and we might want to check back their Jupyter notebook at a later point, we would need to know what is the exact time that the Jupyter notebook was last modified, okay? And we get access to those files through, like, you know, the signature of the file. So if you submit your IPython notebook, maybe zip it somewhere, don't touch it, email it to yourself, something like that. So if we need it later, you can access it. Okay, so this is very important. Please don't modify your file later. So this is for today. If you have any other question, please let us know. I'm happy to take a question. If you have a question, please make sure to provide as much information as possible so we can help you with, debugging your problems. Copy paste your error, provide screenshots, and create a new Piazza post. Thank you so much. Have a good day.